I'm in Hythe. As you can see, it's a picturesque place in the New Forest. And the reason I've come here is to find out more about a unique piece of First World War military heritage that's still very much earning its keep today. And the piece of the past in question can be found here, Hythe Pier. But it's not the pier or even the ferry that I've come to see, it's this, the railway. Running for 700 yards on 2-foot track, this is Hythe Pier Railway. It takes commuters, shoppers and tourists from the land to the pier head, where they can catch the ferry to Southampton. It's old and it's quaint, but it comes from a dark time in our history. The First World War. While the fighting was continuing in the trenches, this little engine, or tractor unit to name it correctly, was supplied with 2 others to an armaments factory. Trains were routinely used to move the vast amounts of raw materials needed to keep the weapons of war in production. These tractor units were destined for Avonmouth, near Bristol, to a factory that made mustard gas, a dreadful chemical weapon. This is what it would have looked like then, and this photo might actually be one of the trains at Avonmouth, or possibly another at a mustard gas plant in Gretna. So how did these engines end up in Hampshire? Alan Titheridge knows the answer.
Mr. Thomas Percy, who owned the ferry and the pier, came into possession of a War Office surplus materials catalogue at the end of the First World War. And listed in there were these tractor units, lengths of rail and various other railway equipment. By 1922, they had this railway running up and down the pier.
It's a busy day for the driver and Royal Navy veteran Ken Crosby, who's having to do double journeys for some of the ferries. They're that full.
I think it's an honour. It's a bit of heritage, and you can feel the 99 years as you drive it, but it's lovely. This here's the gears. Basically, you go into first or second, and then second to Hythe, or the other way if you're coming back to Southampton. This is what's called a dead man's handle. That's basically the power. You depress that, when you're in gear, you will go. You hear the click, and then you hear the click off. That's the power. This is the brake. It's currently on. And now you take it off. So when you're coming in, you slowly just wind it round, and it'll stop you in its tracks. This one will.
Reassuring to know as I take to the tracks. It's a totally unique experience. The view for a start is amazing, but being in this carriages as well. These were built especially for the railway, started service in 1922, and one of the ways in which they are totally unique is that they've only got doors on the one side, because you don't want to get out of that side, so it's straight out into the sea. This is an electric train, drawing power from the live third rail. But back at the ammunition factory, it was driven by batteries, as this rare photo from about 1920 shows. Well, this particular tractor unit is named after someone very closely associated with this railway, and that's Gerald York. He was the engineer who took it from the mustard gas factory, brought it here and installed it on the pier back in 1922. But winding forward a few years to the mid-30s, he was back again telling the owners, no, you need to get rid of them, they're worn out, they're not going to last much longer. Well, little did he know that 80 years on from then, they're still going. But the railway's survival hasn't always been assured. Most recently, COVID-19 placed its future in doubt. Hythe Pier Heritage Association now own the pier and railway for the community and are fundraising to renovate and restore it. A dedicated team of skilled volunteers are gradually working on the rolling stock and infrastructure, helping keep history alive.
These 2 units are 2 of only 5 that I know of in the United Kingdom, and they are the only 2 earning their corn.
Next year marks the centenary of Hythe Pier Railway, a chance to celebrate 2 funny little tractor units who began their work in the war factories and all these years on play a vital role in keeping the communities around Southampton Water connected. Tim Cooper, Forces News, Hythe.